Let's talk about Tesla's delivery numbers. We'll do analyst predictions, a little bit more on the charging network. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel where I give you the latest Tesla news. More charging companies are adapting Tesla's NACS standard. On Wednesday, June 28, Blink Charging expands electric vehicle charging accessibility by incorporating NACS into their entire product line. Thursday, June 29, Polestar to adopt the NACS to enable Tesla's supercharging network in the US and Canada. Also, Electrify American is next to adopt Tesla's NACS charging standard. Electrify America, a key player in the electric vehicle charging space, is adding Tesla's North American charging standard to its fast charging network in both the US and Canada. The integration comes as a response to recent steps by leading automakers such as GM and Ford, among others, to adopt the NACS standard. The dual option aimed to ensure maximum convenience for EV users as the company transitions to support automakers adding NACS connectors available for both existing and future charging stations. So this is really interesting. Tesla announces several partnerships with leading automakers for sharing its supercharging network. This support might lead to a third-party app support and an app store coming. Tesla news site said the third-party apps could provide more secure and controlled access for Tesla users. Also on Thursday, the news came as more automakers partnered with Tesla on access to the supercharging stations. Elon said in 2016 that the goal was to have app mirroring from phone to console in Tesla vehicles. The third-party app support likely points to the other auto companies being able to have apps that connect to the Tesla network rather than other auto manufacturers, customers having to sign up with a Tesla account to access the network. So on Friday, financial news said Wall Street consensus calls for sales of 445,000 Teslas in Q2. Tesla NC was the first US automaker to achieve monthly sales updates, opting instead to provide quarterly data on its deliveries, a proxy for sales and production very shortly after quarter end, including weekends. GM followed that move a couple years ago. Earlier last week, Deutsche Bank analyst Emmanuel Rosner raised his second quarter delivery expectations to 448,000 from 438,000. The EV maker has tweaked EV prices according to demand and to qualify for EV credits and in the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yes, for our cash tag segment, that's going to be Andy Swan, co-founder at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
We're talking one of your favorite subjects, Andy, and that's Tesla. Really good delivery numbers. It seems like the pricing that they've implemented over the last 6 months has really taken hold as demand remains robust for at least two of their models.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that the writing was on the wall actually about a year ago with Tesla when gas prices were through the roof. I think that's when a lot of people decided that their next car was going to be electric, or at least they would give it serious consideration. And among electric vehicles, really Tesla is the only player worth talking about at this point. Their lead is so gigantic and growing at this point. And I think, for us at Likefolio, we really watch two things when it comes to Tesla. Of course, we're watching the gas price concerns and electric vehicle demand and things like that. But for Tesla specifically, we like to look at the number of people talking about it on social media, which is down year over year, 23%. For us, this is actually one of those very rare situations where we think this is actually a good sign, because last year what was happening was you had a confluence of two things. You had high gas prices, and you had the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, embroiled in this entire drama around buying Twitter, which really distracted, I think, the shareholder base and Wall Street in general. So Tesla was a huge topic of conversation without it really being about the cars. And so now I think that has changed. and most of those mentions are about the cars. And we see that when we look at Tesla web visits, which are up 26% year over year, near all-time highs. And what this tells me is that, Tesla at this point is now part of the normal car shopping experience.
Sunday news. Tesla delivered 466,140 vehicles in the second quarter, better than Wall Street expected. The more than 466,000 unit compares with about 423,000 cars delivered in the first quarter of 2023 and about 255,000 in the second quarter of 2022, when much of China was locked down. Tesla produced about 479,700 units. The gap between production and deliveries is 13,560. Now, Tesla has produced about 99,000 more cars than it has sold over the past years. About 19 days of inventory, which is really low. It is the third best start of the year in the history of Tesla stock. Shares gained about 158% in the first half of 2020 and about 217% in the first half of 2013. Now, Tesla stock is up 22% over the past month and 113% so far this year. Now, this is on last week's news. The S&P 500 is up 16% and the NASDAQ 32% this year. Deliveries almost 20,000 units more than street estimates is a very good sign. Next up for investors is earnings July 19th. The most watched number might be operating profit margins. Tesla cut prices significantly in 2023 to boost demand amid rising interest rates and slowing economy, but at the expense of profit margins. Operating profit margins fell to about 11% in the first quarter, and the second quarter, analysts project stable operating profit margins of about 11%, down from 15% reported the second quarter of 2022. On Sunday, Tesla announced nearly 480,000 vehicles in Q2 delivered. 466,000 vehicles. Tesla reported record second quarter deliveries, which exceeded the most optimistic forecast, underlining the strong momentum the company is experiencing. Tesla's quarterly deliveries came in at 466,140 units. This compares to the company's compiled estimate of 446,823 units and the fact-set complied estimate of 445,000 units.
But let's start off with what you've been talking about. You've been very bullish on Tesla. You've been right, Dan. What do you make of the deliveries?
I think this was a jaw dropper relative to many expecting softness. I think those price cuts, that was the poker move that they really needed to make to put an iron fence around their install base. China, I think that's really ultimately the catalyst. And this for the bulls, I think this is really an inflection point. It feels like right now they're just getting stronger. And in terms of electric vehicles, it's Tesla's world. Everyone else paying rent.
But, the point Mike and Phil both made is we're still really at 1.8 million for the year, which is where we started. Estimates for the company have actually come down. So has this actually been the reason the stock has added, or the company's added $400 billion in market cap? And if not, what then, and is it justified?
Yeah, and obviously great points that they make, but I think what this has really been, it's about the AWS moment, the supercharger. That's really what changed everything. In terms, I think investors now starting to realize the sum of the parts of this story is starting to get realized. And even though the next quarter or two, margins will trough out in terms of, I think ultimately expand to Q4 in next year. But the supercharger, batteries, and of course AI. I think right now, not giving credit from an AI perspective, which is why now you can maybe start to rationalize, is this $1.5 trillion or higher? As this all plays out in terms of the Tesla story.
The company said it will post financial results for Q2 after market close on July 19th, 2023. Tesla globally deliveries rose 83% in the second quarter. Deliveries in the first quarter rose 36% from a year earlier. And earlier this year, Elon mentioned that the company was prepared to sacrifice near-term profitability in pursuit of growth, a strategy that rival automakers have largely abandoned over the years. Elon is focusing on growth and market domination at this point. Tourist security analyst Wilhelm Stein said long-term, we continue to see Tesla as a significant supplier of EI tech. He rated the stock a hold, though boosted its target price to $240 from $154 on Monday. Deutsche Bank raises Tesla price on Monday from $260 to $270 following Q2 delivery beat and maintains a buy rating. JP Morgan raises Tesla price target to $120 from $115, maintains underweight rating. Goldman Sachs maintains neutral on Tesla but raises price target to $275 from $248. On Tuesday, July 4th, the news said Tesla China sales hit new highs as Giga Shanghai made vehicles account for 53% of global deliveries. Tesla China delivered 93,680 units in June, according to data from the China Passenger Association. Now, this marks a 18.72% increase from a year ago and a 20.57% upside from April sales. Now, the June numbers marks a second best total for Tesla in China after November 2022. Record performance of 100,291 units. Tesla's second quarter tally in China was 247,217 units, a record. Also, Wednesday news said that the Tesla Model Y outpaces a 35-year-old record for car sales in Iceland. The Model Y became the most sold car in Iceland, boosting a total of 1,316 Model Ys registered in the first 6 months of 2023. The Model Y impressive sales surpassed the previous record held since 1988, when over 1,200 Toyota Corollas were registered in a single year, as shared by the Iceland Monitor. The Iceland Transportation Authority clarified that these figures represent new car registrations each year by model rather than direct sales number. Typically, the majority of these newly registered vehicles are sold by importers. The authority also highlighted instances where individuals have imported cars for their own personal use. Regardless, Tesla's Model Y is demonstrating its popularity in Iceland, reflecting a growing trend towards electric vehicles in the country. And also on Wednesday, Tesla has set new record for vehicles deliveries in Q2 2023 due to price reductions in key markets and ramped up production. Elon Musk continues to make bold moves that are proving to be successful. This daring strategy of lowering prices and potentially lowering profit margins had a particular positive impact in China, where Tesla faces tough competition from local electric vehicle manufacturers. Tesla's stock has been remarkable in gains, with a nearly 30% surge in June and an impressive 135% increase year to date. Tesla stock is on a rise, but it'll have to gain more momentum to surpass this crucial resistance level of $300. If Tesla breaks through this point, it'll continue its upward trend. So I know there's more news coming out, especially from China, where they want car manufacturer not being so volatile in their prices and how they sell cars. So Tesla just signed an agreement with all the other automakers in China. It's going to be interesting. I know eventually Tesla is going to reach that $300 stock price. How long do you believe this will take? Until when? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.
David, I want to show you where Tesla is in terms of hitting its annual target, the guidance that they put out earlier this year to deliver 1.8 million vehicles. After exceeding expectations for the second quarter, delivering 466,000 versus the estimate of 445,000, they're now basically halfway towards 1.8 million. And almost everybody agrees, unless something dramatically changes, they will hit that target because they're expected to increase production and increase deliveries in the second half of this year.